Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day, everyone. My name is Carl Young, registered migration agent. Now, it's been a while that I haven't published an English version of the YouTube videos. So today, I would like to take this opportunity to do something for all of you who have subscribed to my channel. Now, today, we will be discussing more in detail about the independent skill visas under subclass 189 and 190, which is it's a commonly known that student can actually coming over to Australia and study a particular courses and then migrate onwards. However, the change between the change of 2018 and 2019, obviously they are pushing towards students and migrants towards regional, where they are promoting more of regional studies and regional work experiences to actually gain more points. But today I would like to discuss the foundation and how this point test system will actually work. And now, if you do seeking to migrate to Australia, this will be a very good source to actually begin with your actual knowledge of the Australian visas. Now let's jump into the immigration's website. So you can see this is the Australian Government Department of Home Affairs under the subclass 189 skill independent visa point test stream. So on the tab of overview and about visa, I won't go in detail about it because the past 1 minute I've generally talked about it and explained it to you. Now, the eligibility here, there are a lot of stuff that I wanted to take you through. Now, generally, it's a point test systems, so obviously that you are required to meet a certain threshold of points to actually be invited. So, how do you apply this? Now, first thing first, you're required to be invited. So if you're not being invited, I'm sorry, you cannot apply the visa. So how do you get invited? You need to put your expression of interest, EOI, into the skill select system, which is a common pool that collects all the EOI all around the world, including Australia. And then they compare your points by points with whatever category of the occupation that you're in. So you have higher points, you will be invited quicker. Now, how do we get that? We will go into the detail of points very soon. So before we begin, you are required to have a suitable skill assessment. Now, what does it mean? You cannot be graduate as an accountant and get a skill assessing authority for a shift. That doesn't work. So obviously you have to follow whatever the occupation that you're in there to actually be skill assessed. Now, bear in mind, if you're a medical or legal practitioners, there are additional registry and registration required or admission required. So any other occupation apart from that, you don't need it. But the only thing I think is the engineers, whether or not you're required to be registered in the state. I don't think the government requires that unless you are going to the employment visa. Okay. Now, you have to be under age of 45, so above 45, you cannot do this visa no more. Now, this was reduced down numbers of years ago. Whether or not they're going to change it, we do not know. So, you got to be at least points of 65 or above, and you can see there's a point calculator here. Now you can jump into this website as well, or if you do want to get a direct link, leave your comment. I'll be able to send the direct link to you and you can play around this calculator here, but I will take you into a further page where we will have detailed points in a table so we can explain it further. Now, you need to meet the minimum level English to be a competent English. So what is competent English? It's described here. You need to meet at least IELTS tests of at least 6 points at each of 4 components, TOEFL of these points, PTE of 50 in the 4 component, OET of B, and blah 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 down here. Now that doesn't give you any point, but that's a minimum. If you cannot even meet IELTS 6, you cannot even enter into the system as well. Now, obviously, you have to have that skill. So generally, you get that in your qualification. And at the bottom here, you need to meet the health requirement. You get health check and character check. You get police check and so on and further down. Now, going to this page where I wanted to show you, which you can actually find in some of these skill occupation link that you click on it, that will actually get you into this page. This is page is very good. I think the government of Australia has done a good job on actually aggregated all occupation, because literally today in today's Australian visa system, it's extremely complicated because every different visas probably have different skill occupation lists. So you may think you're in a migration path, but you might not meet or get the right visa to actually come in. So in order to do so, you need to jump into this page and search for your occupation. So what I've done is I type in medical, and down here it will show all the medical required or related occupations, and they will tell you if you're a biomedical engineer, here are the list of visas that you can actually apply for. And at the right hand side, they will actually show you that which part of skill assessing authority that you're required to go through for your skill assessment. So it's actually very, very handy, and I really recommend for all of your viewers and also potential migrant to actually come in and check. And also for students who had literally wanted to come to Australia to study, this will be a good web page to actually go and actually find out probably what sort of things that you want to study. For example, if I type in ICT, here we go. Oh, not barrister, but down here you will see possibly which one has a better pathway. But again, that doesn't mean at the time when you graduated this will still be there. Now bear in mind, Australian government does have a floating index where they changes occupation list as required by the nation as well. Now let's go into the actual point table here. Now you see here it says subclass 190 because subclass 189 and 190 actually share the same point test tables. Now 190 is for state sponsorship. If you get nominated and sponsored by the state under the 190 visa, you do get extra 5 points. And how do you get state nominations? Well, every state publish their own another occupation list where they promote or prefer a list of occupations that they wanted to come in, and they have some of their state requirement as well. So you may want to jump into the state's migration website to actually check it out. Now let's jump into the actual points. So for the age, if you're an age of 18 and 25, you get 25 points. If you're age of 25 to 33, you get 30 points. 33 to 40, you get 25 points. 40 to 45, you get 15 points. So they favor migrants between 25 to, between 18 to 40. But if you're only 18, it's very hard to actually get what I'm gonna share with you with their work experiences. It's not possible that you graduated with years of work experiences. So I think the most favorable part will be between 25 and 40. Now you will see what I mean, because you need to meet higher points. Now English language here, I want to take more time to explain here. So you do not wish to just meet competent English, which is IELTS 6, because you can see you get 0 points and 0, 0, 0 points. Okay, what I would recommend anyone from now on into the future, if you wanted to study in Australia, you should aim at IELTS 7, which is a proficient English level, because if less than 7, you get 0 points. Why bother? Now, if you get IELTS 7, you get 10 points. And if you can improve better, I'll always recommend that you aim at superior English level, which gets you 20 points. Now, I can tell you, this is very, very vital, because that 20 points of superior English, from my experiences, more than 80% of percentage that you get invited straight away. Well, not required to be waiting for a while. Now, Going down and onwards, skill employment. Now, obviously, Australian government favors someone who has skill and also years of experiences. So if you have been working outside of Australia, less than 3 years, you get 0 points. 3 to 5 years, 5 points. 5 to 8 years, 10 points. And over 8 years, you get 15 points. And if you have skill employment in Australia, now bear in mind, skill employment means that these employment has to be closely related to your occupation. So if you're a graduate as an accountant and you have been working 5 years as a chef, now I'm sorry, that 5 years chef cannot count it towards your points, okay? So it has to be closely related, okay? Now, skill employments in Australia, less than 1 year, 0 points, 1 to 3 years, 5 points, 3 to 5 years, 10 points, 5 to 8 years, 15 points. Over 8 years, you get 20 points. Okay, now going down to education qualification. So if you got a PhD, you get 20 points. Now, I notice that not everyone can actually get PhD, but I will advise that everyone coming to Australia, you should really aim at a bachelor level at least, so you get that 15 points. And if you get diploma trade, 10 points, and anything else out of 10 points. Okay, now specialist education qualification. So if you have conducted master in research or PhD in the following specific titles or topics or occupations or majors, you get that extra 5 points. Now, if you can see here, it's predominantly, all related to science, computing, ICT, IT, and also engineering related stuff. Okay. Now, for further down, study requirement. If you're studying in Australia for more than, I believe that's gonna be 2 years, you get that 5 points. Now, professional year, what is that? Professional year is the year that you're enrolled into specific institutions after graduate from accounting, engineering, or ICT. If you're getting to these professional year courses for a minimum of 1 year, you get that 5 points. Obviously, you need to complete the whole course. Okay. Now, credential community language. That's if you have a further skill developed for as a translator or interpreter and have a certificate issued by National Accredited Authority for Translator and Interpreter, that's another 5 points. Now, that's not an easy thing. That requires a very quick and practical responses on multi-languages, bilingual or whatever the language that you're specialized in. Now, studying regional, again, you have to study in regional area, which regional area are categorized basically excluding the major city. That's Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Brisbane, and Perth. Anywhere else, I would say 90% they are all regional. So again, studying regional does provide a lot of incentive, and you get that extra 5 points. Now, partners. Now, your partner has to meet this at this point in time. The existing law says he or she needs to meet the skill assessment requirement, and also I think passing competent English as well, and meeting the age as well. You get 5 points. Now, this part is gonna be dramatically changed in the coming future, where they will promote migrant to come in as a single. That's first thing, or a partner with a skill like what we have just seen, or the partner has at least a competent English. If you come in with a partner and without all of this, now you actually get no points. So having a partner solely would not really help you to actually increase your point. That's how they want to do it in the future. Now, at the last part is what we have mentioned at the very beginning, that if you get nominated by the state, you get that extra 5 points. So basically, as you can see today, I've gone into a little bit of depth and detail about Australia's skill independent visa under subclass 189190. Now, bear in mind, again, to summarize it, the minimum points is 65. Now, if you do want to consider this is a migration pathway, you do not want to aim just at 65. That's no way. You want to aim as high as you can. So one way that can be done is to achieve a superior English again, and also achieve in further work experiences. But again, work experiences is hard because it has to be done after your graduation, okay, and has to accumulate year by year by year. But the only thing that you can probably do now is to improve your English, and that's what I'm saying. If you can try to get and improve your English to a superior level, that's much easier and save a lot of time. Okay, now that's about the skill independent visa for today's video. If you do have further comment or questions, feel free to leave a comment. And if you do like our channel, you can actually put a thumbs up for me, and also click on the subscribe button and also the little bell right beside it, so you can get the most updated Australian visa news. Okay, so video will be here, and should you have further questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Thank you.